All right, assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum. It's Friday, we should be a little more excited. Well, as he said, my name is Aman Obsiye, and I'm one of the founders and the vice president of the United Somali Movement. And I was looking at the website and for this event, and I started noticing some of the themes. So I'm going to speak on a couple of themes, and then I'm going to get into my particular topic, which was youth participation in the political process. So one of the conference theme is empowering Somali Diaspora youth to better understand these issues and challenges and transform them into opportunities to reach their full potential. It's a mouthful. But to me, before any person can reach his or her full potential, he or she must be conscious of himself or herself. You must be conscious of your own greatness, because the Almighty has made you a human and He's given you an intellectual comparative advantage to all His other creations. You must understand your own greatness. So my speech is titled The Awakening. So the speech is titled The Awakening. So let's define awakening. It means to awake, to cease sleeping, to become conscious or aware of something. And I'll be the first to admit that I've not always been fully awake or fully conscious. As some of you know, I was born here in the United States of America. I know you don't meet too many grown Somali men who are born here, but I'm one of those few exceptions. And I was 20 years old when I first went back to Somalia. Many of you left as children and have no real recollection of Somalia, but when I went back, I was a young adult. I was 20 years old. I was fully conscious of the situation that was going on. And this trip is what initially sparked my awakening. See, back in Somalia, our bathrooms are quite different than the bathrooms here in America. So when you want to use the bathroom, it's just a little hole in the ground, like a little hole in the ground. And naturally, that does something to you psychologically. Seriously, I remember the first time I was always told about Somalia. I was always told about the bathrooms. They gave me preparation, but that was just talk. When I actually went home, and I remember I wanted to use the restroom, and I said, take me to the restroom. And so they, opened this little place, and I see this hole in the ground. I remember I was just staring at it for 15 minutes, like, okay, how do I tackle this challenge right here? And after using the bathroom back home, your brain doesn't think the same way anymore. So my initial awakening started when I went to Africa and saw the poverty and the disparities our people were living in. And I just mentioned the bathroom, but there was many things that shocked me, but the bathroom to me was kind of like the symbol of the struggle. It was kind of like it was the epitome of the poverty we live in and the situation that we're in. So when I returned to America after that summer, I swore to myself that I would fight against injustice and I would fight for my people until my last breath. I swore to myself that I would work hard to establish social harmony for my people and figure a way to uplift my people. I swore that to myself. I made this declaration, and this is the declaration that has fueled my activism. Another step I took to awaken myself was to study the history of my ancestors, study the Somali history. When I learned about our first centralized state, an Islamic empire called the Awdal Empire, I was extremely impressed. When I learned that there was a head of state, and we didn't call him the president, we called him the Sultan, and there was a 100-member Senate, kind of, like a parliament, who advised him, I started to become more conscious, because this empire existed before America existed, the country I was born in. And we had a head of state, and we had a similar Senate structure. And this was back in the 7th century. So I learned about, the 100-member Senate was broken down into 4 different facets. The first facet, each facet having 25 men. The first dealing with taxes, the second dealing with defense of the empire, the third dealing with the social work, and the fourth dealing with the political and foreign affairs aspect. This helped me wake up. When I learned about, a gentleman by the name of Syed Muhammad Abdullahi Hassan, who the British called the Mad Mullah, when I learned about how he fought against the British Empire just as George Washington did, I was amazed. I got hope to continue to fight against the injustices that exist and to establish some type of social harmony for my people. Recently, I just learned about another Somali revolutionary who fought against injustice, a gentleman by the name of Umar Samatar. And this great man, he fought against the fascist Italian regimes during the early 20th century. As the Mad Mullah fought against the Imperial British, Umar Samatar fought against the fascist Italians. And with great bravery, he led a rebellion to reclaim the Somali kingdom of Hobyo and to free it from the grasp of colonialism. So when I seen men that were my people, men who looked like me, I respect George Washington, but he doesn't look like me. So as a child, that did not, give me confidence. But when I seen my Somali heroes who looked just like me, it gave me confidence. So what I learned is learning your history is not only rewarding, but it nurtures your confidence. It nurtures your confidence in your people. It nurtures your confidence in your abilities. It nurtures your confidence in your native land. See, they say, what is a tree without its roots? A tree without its roots is dead. And that's how our people will be if we don't learn our history. And this is the same for the Somali youth in particular. If they don't know their past, then they are going to be confused presently, and they will have no idea of where their Somali identity lies in the future. Another theme of the conference was empowering Somali youth in identifying their issues and challenges and better understand their circumstances. I'm part of the Minnesota delegation. I'm part of the few of us who came from Minnesota, NIMCO. So in Minneapolis, we have a lot of Somali on Somali violence, and it's becoming very pervasive. The youth are engaged in a gang-related culture, and as a consequence, our brothers and our sisters get shot regularly. It doesn't even surprise us when somebody gets shot. We just ask, did he die? No, oh, who? And this is an issue that must be addressed and it must be solved because our youth are going astray. So we are trying to engage in youth development because how things are looking right now back home, we're not going to go no time soon. So we have to invest in the diaspora community. And I'm glad to say that, in Minneapolis, we do have some groups who primarily focus on youth development, most notably a group named SAV, Students Against Violence. Two of the representatives are right there. Another group named SYNC. I think Mukhtar is over there representing them. And so that's one of the issues we have in Minneapolis is the youth-on-youth violence. Another issue that surprisingly affects the youth is tribalism. People think that this is just a disease for the elders, but it's affected our youth as well. See, some Somali youth are tribalistic, putting their tribal identity before their Somali identity, putting their tribal interest before their Somali interest. And I've said it before, and I would say it again. I would like to remind all of you that none of you speak Af Hawiya or Af Darod. You speak Af Somali. You are Rer Somali, first and foremost. I would also like to remind you that our fatherland, the Somali Republic, was destroyed because of tribalism. Must I remind you that we ran away. We did not choose voluntarily. We ran away from home because of tribalism. And, some of the youth are engaged in this ill, garbage-minded mentality. And this mentality is something of Jahiliyyah. This is something of Jahiliyyah. We don't worship the God of the sun, and we don't worship the God of the ocean. So we don't need to be tribalistic. The man who's tribalistic is just the same as the man who worships the God of the sun or the God of the ocean. He is stuck in Jahiliyyah just like that man is. And I'd like to go to our holy book just to read something real quick on the 49th surah, on the 13th ayat. It says, O mankind, We created you from a single pair of a male and a female and made you into nations and tribes. Into nations and tribes, that ye may know each other, and not that you may despise each other. Not that you may despise each other. And do you see the wisdom behind this? I don't want to get it twisted. I am pro-tribes, but I'm anti-tribalism. So I'm pro-tribes, anti-tribalism, meaning I respect everybody's unique tribal identity. I respect your tribal identity, and I respect the positive role, emphasis on positive role that tribes play in the Somali society. We have no nation, but somehow we're still able to manage because of the tribal structures. It's kind of like our social security. But I'm anti-tribalism. I won't discriminate because of your tribe. I won't, choose to be your friend because of your tribe or choose to make you an enemy because of your tribe. I will not discriminate because of your tribe. And I won't make no judgments based on tribes. So these are some of the issues. Now, my topic is called Youth Participation in the Political Process. Now, there's two ways you could take this topic. You could take it domestically, or you could take it internationally, or you could take it with U.S. politics or politics concerning the Somali Republic. And because of my preference and what I deem to be more consequential, I'll choose the latter. And this is particularly to the youth that are here, what I'm going to say, these next few words. This is a declaration I make every time I speak, so I will make this declaration again. So I, Aman Hussein Dahir Obsiye, declare to be a citizen of the people. I declare my loyalty to the Somali masses, and I will forever be in solidarity with the Somali population. And this is a declaration we all must make. Now, we, the youth, we must dedicate our lives to restoring our beloved nation. We must dedicate our resources, and it might be monetary resources, it might be intellectual resources, any resource that we have, we must dedicate it to establishing social harmony back in our sacred republic. And this is a calling for the youth. This is a divine mission from our generation. 550 members of the TFG Parliament will not bring back our sacred republic. Al-Shabaab won't bring back our sacred republic, and no foreign country will bring back our sacred republic. This is a mission that we must take. This is a mission that is left to us. And once the youth awaken, they will hear this call and take the necessary steps to reestablishing our sacred republic. So Somalis, I don't know why we're at war, but Somalis are unique in the sense that their nationality is also their ethnicity. We are the most homogeneous region in the world. Nationally speaking, you are Somali. Ethnically speaking, you are Somali. Culturally, you are Somali. Linguistically, you are Somali. Therefore, whatever goes on back home affects us here, and whatever we, the diaspora, do affects them back home. When you think about it, economically speaking, we, the diaspora, are the #1 corporation, quote-unquote corporation, that provides foreign direct investment to the Somali Republic. Real change comes from economic empowerment. And there's no other collective group that invests more money back home than we do. You have to understand we are a key player in the Somali Republic. But politically speaking, economically we're a key player, but politically speaking, the diaspora provides minimally. And the youth, who will be the future leaders of the Somali Republic, are non-existent in this realm, and this must change. So I would like to suggest an idea at this conference. I would like to suggest, because there's many groups here, I'd like to suggest that we form a North American youth diaspora political apparatus that focuses on reestablishing the Somali Republic. I recommend that we all come together as one, especially the youth, as one people and as one voice with one clear message, what I call the 3P objective, that we desire a peaceful, prosperous, and powerful Somali Republic. And the youth will play a major role in rebuilding, or in the rebuilding process of the Somali Republic. It is a blessing that so many Somali youth or well educated in the Western civilization. There's never been a time in the Somali history that so many Somalis have Western education, high education, from all across the Western civilization. And this is a blessing. And inshallah, we will use this blessing to provide back to Somalia's brain gain. Most intellectuals leave Somalia, and what the economists call the brain drain, but inshallah, we will go back and make a brain gain. We will go back home, and we must go back home and bring our knowledge and our skills and use them for the sole purpose of rebuilding our nation. This is something the youth have to take upon themselves. And it is time for the youth to play a major role in reestablishing the Somali Republic. Naturally, we will be at the forefront of rebuilding, and we will be at the forefront of the reestablishment of nationhood. So when we come together as one people and as one voice, we'll be able to sway the politicians and the political apparatuses in our countries that we live in, if you're in the US or Canada. And I want to give you an example. Look at APEC, the American-Israeli Public Affairs Committee, whose motto is America's pro-Israeli lobby. Look at what the Israeli Americans have done for the nation of Israel from here. They get $3 billion every year because of this group mainly, because of the Israeli Americans initiative. See, the Israeli Americans, they don't come to the chessboard trying to play checkers. They don't come to the chessboard trying to play checkers. They have changed the landscape of the Israeli nation from their homes here in the US. And we Somalis, we must do the same. We must mimic this process. So I ask the youth from the US and the youth from Canada to seriously pay heed to my suggestion. Let us form a similar committee. Seriously, let's form a similar committee so we can reestablish nationhood. Currently, we don't provide nothing to the Somali Republic besides money. It's time that we start providing to them intellectually and politically. Now, currently, we could do more for the Somali Republic here by utilizing our people and utilizing our strengths than we could do back home. We could do more here in the US. So yes, ultimately, the end goal is to go back home and help in the rebuilding process, but first we must act here in establishing nationhood. And this will be a difficult process, and I'm willing to take the initiative and work with anybody who wants to make this process happen. So we must form a diaspora SYL, a Diaspora Somali Youth League. And I ask the youth to awake, to cease sleeping, to become conscious or aware. Got a few more seconds, I'm done. I'm gonna be done before 2 minutes, bro. Currently, our nation is dying. Our people are dying. Our identity is dying. Our language is dying. Our culture and our traditions are dying. So this is a call for the youth to wake up. We must work hard and we must work strategically for our people and our territories. We cannot ask nobody for nothing. We have to take the initiative. And this is good that we make conferences and we speak, but we must have an action plan after this conference. There must be an action plan. So Somali problems deserve Somali solutions. You hear me? Somali problems deserve Somali solutions. We must be a movement seeking revolutionary changes in our own community. We cannot rely on nobody else. So right here, we must set the foundation that will develop our people and our community. And I'm leaving with this. We Somalis, and I've said this before and I'm going to say it again, we Somalis are like fingers. We're all equal, but we're not the same. Some are taller, some are shorter. Some are skinnier, some are wider. But like these fingers are all fingers, we Somalis are all Somalis. Individually, we have minimal strengths. But collectively and united, we could be like a force unparalleled. If you hit a man like this, and if you hit a man with a fist, which one brings more power? Which one is more effective? The united fist is more effective, and the Somali people must be like this fist. And just know that the youth, it says this conference, it says the forgotten generation, and we are the forgotten generation, but I want to let you know you are also the generation of hope. You are also the generation of hope. See, you are the youth, therefore you are the future. You are the youth, therefore you are the agent of change. You are the driving force behind Somali prosperity. And I leave with this, and I leave with revolutionary greetings, because we have extreme problems back home, therefore we need extreme solutions. So I leave with these revolutionary greetings. Freedom to all those oppressed, in power to all people. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.